Hi people! Today we are talking about strikes, big strikes. If you didn't know, like this entire season has been just a big strike union W. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, since the SAG, since WGA, it's just been like a rolling thing where unions are just striking or getting wins. And I'm here for it. I really am. Also, can we point out how, like, why do I look so cute all the time? I don't know what it is. Also, I'm in a different place. As you can tell, it's definitely not as cute as my normal background. We gotta spruce it up, or not, because honestly, I'm broke. So I don't know if we can, but it'll work for now, because it's gonna have to. Let's start off with what's going on in the union world, okay? I said that there's big wins, but like, what are those wins? What's going on? So Teamsters, the UPS Teamsters, I think they had a successful strike. Either they striked and got like their benefits, or UPS joined Teamsters. I should probably check this. Okay, it says the 5-year contract protects and rewards more than 340,000 US Teamsters nationwide. So I think they got a good contract. Yeah. Okay, so it was the first one. So Teamsters are winning the IATSE, which is the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. So IATSE, the Marvel VFX people are trying to join them, or they might have already successfully unionized. And then animators, which this is important for me as an animator, are also preparing or thinking about unionizing. Then there's UAW, which is on strike right now, and the big three did not think that was going to happen, but they are on strike right now as we speak. That was a really big thing because nobody thought they were going to strike. Even Joe Biden didn't think they were going to strike, but then they did. They pulled a fast one. Then of course SAG and WGA, we've already talked about them, but I do want to, in this episode, or this ain't an episode, in this video, give a bit of a update on what's going on, because it has been a few months since I've released that video, even though that video was like, was it like 3 videos down? Like, it's one of my most latest videos, but it's been like 2 months, 3 months since I made it. But before we do any of that, subscribe, perhaps, maybe. Also follow me on Instagram, TikTok. We also have a Patreon. I also have a Twitter. I don't post on there. So, not, if you want to, I guess, for the fun of it, I don't know. But like I said, we have a Patreon where you can get exclusive content, mainly focused on these commentary videos right here. You can see my outlines, my script drafts, when I do video essays, video drafts, it depends on the tier. Or if you just want to support and give $1, you can do that too. I'm also setting up memberships at this very moment in time. That will be a thing as well, where we'll get like cute little like emotes. It'll be super cute. I'm working on it right now. Okay, but let's get into the SAG and WGA updates. They're still on strike, but there's been some updates in the celeb world. There's been some updates just in general, what's going on with the contract, because they have like tried to negotiate with the companies. Right now, the AMPTP is refusing to negotiate with us, is what President Fran Drescher writes in this magazine. They are punishing us for exercising our legal right to strike. They are not land barons in feudal times, and we are not their serfs. How dare they think we are less than an enemy camp they need to step on in their insatiable appetite for greed. But yeah, so basically, they've tried to negotiate, haven't really gotten anything back from the big three, which is crazy because they've got to be losing money. They've got to be losing so much money, and yet they refuse to negotiate. It's crazy. There's more updates. NBC, like, chill. Still no end in sight for Hollywood. The unions representing Hollywood striking screenwriters and actors remain miles apart from the big studios on key issues, meaning that the majority of entertainment productions are still on hold and most rank-and-file members remain out of work. The battle pits the two unions, the Writers Guild of America and the Actors Guild SAG AFTRA, against the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, a trade group that bargains for major studios and streaming services. The two sides are not meeting regularly, according to sources. SAG AFTRA has not heard from AMPTP since the unions, which we just talked about, nearly 2 months ago. Damn. That they were... Oh wait, no, that's when they started striking. I was like, what? AMPTP was asked for confirmation and the group has not provided comment. Drescher said that she has no idea when the fight would be resolved, but added that her leadership and team members were ready to hunker down. It seems like there's really not a whole lot of an end in sight for strikes, as the AMPTP aren't coming to the table with an offer. So yeah, this has paused a lot of productions. They're talking about Drew Barrymore, which we're gonna get into. There's been a few celebrities, two in particular that I'm going to point out, that have been scabbing recently. The first one is Bill Maher. I believe that's how you say his last name, Bill Maher. Honestly didn't know who this guy was until I started watching Hassan, but he is a big shot. I believe in, like, he has his own HBO show, which is a part of the main part of this contention. And also, I think he's like big in the comedy world. I could be wrong. I think he's, I'm telling you, I don't really know who he is like that.
You know, like this is...
So let's watch.
Strike is a perfect example. Those guys would never go back. This strike could go on till the 24th century. They would stay out. I feel for my writers. I love my writers. I'm one of my writers. Yeah. But there's a big other side to it, and a lot of people are being hurt besides them. A lot of people who don't make as much money as them in this bipartisan world we have, where you're just in one camp or the other. There's no in between. You're either for the strike, like they're fucking Che Guevara out there. You know, like this is Cesar Chavez lettuce picking strike, or you're with Trump. You know, like there's no different. There's only two camps, and it's much more complicated than that. They're asking for a lot of things.
They're asking for a lot of things.
Like kooky. Like what I find objectionable about the philosophy of the strike, it seems to be they have really morphed a long way from 2007 strike, where they kind of believe that you're owed a living as a writer, and you're not. That's
okay. I don't really care what Jim Gaffigan's gonna say, because that part is insane. He just said, you're not owed a living as a writer. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. He really has showed that he is an incredibly out of touch celeb who is so far from that point where it does matter, your paycheck does matter, that he doesn't care anymore. Okay. And it's so disgusting. He literally just said you are not owed a living. He's like, you should starve and die. If you're a writer, that's what you should expect. Is starvation and death. Like, what are you talking about? Let's get this straight. Let me full screen for this. Let's get this straight. You should be paid based on the value of your labor. And that's all these people are asking for. And he said, oh, this is so different from the 2007. No, it's not. It's literally the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, except instead of, what was it, DVDs back then, now it's streamers. But it's the same thing. They're asking for the same thing. They're asking to be compensated based on the value of their labor and to not be cut out of residuals and very important sources of revenue, especially on projects that they literally created. Like, without them, there would be no product. That's all they're asking for. It's very reasonable. Very reasonable to be wanting to be compensated for your labor. Like, why should Netflix make so much money off of like billions of dollars off of some really popular title while writers get none of that at all? or very little. That makes no sense. I created the show. Without me, it wouldn't have been what it is. You see, like, he's insane. He's actually insane. He's talking about, oh, it's kooky. You're kooky. You're out of your mind. And also a big thing is that he's continuing to make his HBO show without writers. So a lot of people are pissed about that. But also on the Drew Barrymore topic, she like apologized on Twitter about the fact that she's crossing the picket line and that she's gonna I think she's also making her show without writers. But then she, like, even though she apologized, she is proceeding to continue to go through the show. You might as well have just stayed silent. You might as well have just shut up. You know, like, why'd you open your mouth if you're just gonna continue to do it? Like, that's not an apology. What is that? I don't even know what that is, but it's not an apology, that's for sure. So I don't know what's going on with these celebs. I don't know what's happening. I think maybe even Chris Evans said something that was weird. I don't know. But, like, I don't know what's going on. A lot of these people are just showing how out of touch they are. How far from that moment in time where, like I said, that paycheck did matter, where those residuals needed to hit. They're so far from that they just can't comprehend how important that is. But let's get to UAW and their strike, because I honestly, the UAW president is so great. He's insanely great, okay? Honestly, it's kind of similar to SAG and WGA. There's a few different things happening. The big three have, like, implemented this 3-tier system where if you worked before a certain amount of time, you got, like, a pension and, like, really good benefits. And then if you worked after a certain time, you didn't get any of that. And also they're like abusing the temp title to, like, keep workers and make them work long freaking hours. Like, they're supposed to be temporary workers, but they're ending up being, like, full-time workers for months on end. So they're just, like, exploiting workers to the maximum. Okay, the 2-tier system is one of the biggest parts of this. But also the UAW union really picked up for the big three after 2008, and they took a massive pay cut, and there was an agreement that they should be paid back for it eventually. But then they, like, never, the big three, like, literally never did it, even though they said they were going to, and they agreed on it. And these workers took a massive, like I said, massive pay cut. They really helped the economy too, like, and then they just didn't get reimbursed for it. Those are the main things that I am aware of. We can look at this article and see if I'm missing anything. So if you don't know, the big three are General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. Those are the big three automakers in America. Okay, I don't think I missed anything. Basically, they just, like I said, it's kind of similar, other than the things I pointed out, it's kind of similar to SAG. They just want to be reimbursed for the value of their labor, and I'm going to show you right now why they really should. Look at this. Look at this chart. So, labor cost per vehicle has stayed at 4 to 5%. The UAW top wage rate has only increased 6%. Inflation, 20%. Okay, so do the math. Your wage has only gone up 6%, but inflation has gone up 20%. Okay, stay with me, stay with me. Average prices, 34%. Average price, I'm assuming, for a car has only gone up, or has gone up 34%. Which, why is the labor cost stayed at 4 to 5%, but you're increasing the price? So not only are you scamming the workers, you're also scamming the consumers to make more money. Okay, stay with me, stay with me. Stock buybacks have gone up 1,000 or 1,500%. Insane. If you don't know what a stock buyback is, it's basically when the company reinvest it. You know, companies have stocks, right? And so the company basically buys their stocks back. That's why it's obviously called stock buybacks. And it makes it look like the company is doing better than they actually are. Because if there's like less stocks, then I don't understand how stocks work, but basically it makes the company look like it's doing better at the moment than it actually is. CEO pay gone up 40%, and then their profits overall 65%. So they're making hella money, while these guys, their wage has only gone up 6%. And inflation, you know, like, it's not adding up. It's really not. So that is a big reason why they want benefits, and they want their value, the value of their labor, to be represented in their pay. Okay, also let's watch the president of the UAW speak. He's the absolute GOAT, Shawn Fain. Absolute GOAT. Let's watch him speak.
How long are you ready for this strike to last?
We're ready for this strike to last as long as it takes. You know, these companies got to come to the pump for their workers. They want to call them family when it's easy, but you know what? The proof's in the pudding. And you know what? They haven't been there. They haven't taken care of their workers. We went backwards in the last 16 years, backwards. While the CEOs gave themselves 40% pay increases in the last 4 years alone. Profits have been through the roof. $250 billion in profit in the last decade, $21 billion in the first 6 months. The price of cars went up 30%. Our pay went up 6%. Inflation went up 19%. We're going backwards, and they want to call us greedy. They got the whole thing backwards.
What would you say to the CEOs of these auto companies that say the union has not been acting in good faith, that there were delays? What do you make of that?
Let's talk about what good faith is. They've had our economic demands for 6 weeks. We've told them from day one, we expect a bargain now, not wait till the end. They waited till last week. We had to file unfair labor practice charges on 2 companies to get them to come to the table.
With the
So they waited till the last week
NRLB.
to want to get down to business. Shame on them, and what they're saying is complete BS.
You heard the CEO of Ford say that it would bankrupt them if they met your demands. What do you think of that?
I think it's a joke. You know what? They could double our pay right now. Labor, the cost of labor that goes into a vehicle is 5% of the vehicle. They could double our wages, and they could not raise the price of vehicles, and they would still make billions of dollars. It's a lie, like everything else that comes out of their mouth.
The strategy is 3 facilities. What impact do you think that could make on the auto industry as a whole across this country?
We'll find out. And you know what? And it's going to keep on building if they don't come to the table for our members.
More facilities are more facilities going to feel this? Are more facilities going on strike?
If they don't take care of our members, they will.
He just went over what we just talked about in that graph. Obviously, since the UAW created it. And like I said, he's the absolute GOAT. Okay, he's so direct and aggressive and to the point. He's going to tell you like it is, and he's not going to miss a beat. The UAW is doing great work. Shawn Fain doing great work, and they are going to get what they deserve. I'm manifesting it. They're going to get what the freak they deserve, because it's not, like I said, it's not adding up. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like he said, they could raise their wages and still make billions of dollars. I think he said that they make like 250 billion or something in profits. He said like a huge number. So like you could, you know, like instead of reinvesting that into like stock buybacks, like you could, you know, pay your workers more maybe, so that they're not like living paycheck to paycheck. So because there's so much union activity, it's so crazy. Like I said, IATSE, Teamsters with UPS, the VFX, animation people are thinking about unionizing SAG, AFTRA, and WGA. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. So much union activity. I've only been alive for so long, but like this is the first time I've ever really seen so much union activity. Like, we're really getting back to our workers' rights, you know what I'm saying? So the question is this the start of worker solidarity in America? It sounds like a pretty silly question. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm asking it. I don't even know why I'm asking it. I really don't know. Okay, because whenever, you know, in my last video, when we were talking about scabbing influencers, you really saw so many people jumping on the gun. They were just jumping on it to scab and to support people who scab and to be like, frick you, SAG and WGA, I don't give a frick. You know, there were so many people that were just willing and waiting. They're like, I don't care, get back to making movies. So the answer is probably no. Worker solidarity in America is absolute pooey. But maybe I'm wrong, because I believe there is a chart. If I find it, I'll put it up on screen. But I think there is a chart from like CNN or something, a poll that says a lot of people are actually siding with UAW in the strike. So maybe this is the start of something. In order for there to be worker solidarity, there also has to be like class consciousness. You know, there's steps to this, but maybe we're starting to see that happen in America. Probably not, but hopefully this is the start of something, because there's just so much union activity. If anything, like I said in the last video, it sets a precedent. All of this, you know, SAG and what they're doing, UAW and what they're doing, really sets a precedent. And it shows that people should unionize their workplace, because when they do, they get benefits and they get stuff done. In a capitalist society, this is the only way for us as workers to see the labor that we have generated, the value in the labor we have generated, come back to us and get it back. So unionize your workplace right now. Right freaking now as we speak. Like, while I'm sitting here, what are you doing? Unionize your workplace. Like, what are we waiting on? I don't really know. But before I leave, I have something very important to say. I want to say thank you to my Patreon members. I'm so excited that people actually subscribed to the Patreon after the last, or it wasn't the last video, but my last video essay. I really didn't expect people, I didn't expect it to get 20,000. I also didn't expect people to actually subscribe to my Patreon, so thank you. Okay, but let me say thank you to my patrons. First off, we have Kaylee Christine. Okay, thank you, Kaylee. James Games. Thank you, James. Don't know how to say this last person's name. But is it Lead Luck? I'll put it on the screen. Thank you guys so much. I think I only am supposed to thank people at the $5 mark. But I just want to say thank you to all of you, because that's crazy. I really did not expect that. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.